was trying to find a way to win, and just still the little things that we got to do to finish off a game against a very talented LSU team. Give them credit. I think, the Nas Reed kid, I mean, that's probably, I'm sure it's his best game as well as the Taylor kid. Those some guys we hadn't played before, but they stepped up and made some big plays for him. And, of course, Tremont's going to do his and Skyler. But I thought the second half was totally different than it was the first half, and I thought it was much to our advantage. Let's give them credit. They made plays when they had to, made free throws when they had to. But it wasn't because of a lack of effort. I was disappointed in the outcome of the game, but I was not discouraged because of the effort. I thought we got better against a much better team. That's probably one of our better half, that second half. Got it into overtime, and we've had some overtime games. We lost one to Texas, I think, and we won one or something like that. But we talk about the game's going to come down to the little things, and it came down to the little things again. And I think the little things are execution, offensively and defensively. But again, let's give LSU a lot of credit. They made some big plays.
Mike, it's the second time you had a double-digit deficit at home, came back and couldn't quite close it out. How disappointing is that?
Well, again, right there before the half, they hit a big shot right there before the half. I thought we did a good job of defending, and somehow Tremont got it and kicked it out, and the guy makes a shot. And then, of course, in the second half, I don't know where it went down, but we know that the game is 40 minutes, not 20 minutes or 23 minutes, 30, whatever it is. We knew there was time on the clock, 33 minutes or what have you, and I thought our defense dug in and we started making plays. We kind of got after them, created some turnovers, got stops. I think we got stops. I thought early on in the game it was like going back and forth, and they scored a little bit more than we did, and so. But we were able to have a much better second half, I thought. They got some key offensive rebounds on us, and of course, those are the little things I talked about. There were some opportunities for us to execute. I think it was tied up 77-7. I think we ended up having a turnover. We had a chance to get a lead and had the crowd into it. I thought that was some momentum time. But again, let's give them credit.
Was there a more concerted effort to get Gafford the ball, or was it just the flow of the game?
No, they had no answer for him. It's just like the last few games we've had. We started off and getting people in foul trouble. And so our guys, I thought they did a much better job of really finding him on time, and he did a good job of finishing, and I thought he positioned himself closer to the basket. But, yeah, we wanted to make sure that it was inside out today.
Reed a surprise with the three-pointers, or is that something?
Well, we knew he was capable of shooting it, but not 4 for 4. I mean, he was making some. And then like I said, our defense broke down. In the first half we saw that. And then, of course, he's involved in some screen and pop. He's a screen and pop guy. And the execution we talked about is we got to be able to switch and be with them on that. And so therefore, we didn't execute that part of it. We did it a couple of times, and then at the most crucial moment, we didn't do it, and he made us pay for it.
Mike, they hit 7 more threes than you did. I said it's a big margin. Just how big was a three-point shot today? The ones they made, the ones you guys didn't.
Well, I mean, you look at the difference in the game. A 6-point game, there's a difference. But we also, I thought we got to the line a little bit more than they did, and we didn't capitalize on that. That could offset that. We had 21 turnovers on 21 assists on 34 field goals. That's pretty good. We created some offense from our defense, and so there's a lot of different ways to win a game, and we were right there within striking distance. Just again, the learning curve. We talk about the little bumps. There's another little bump that took place here, but I think we learned from the last bump, and I thought we got better. I really, really did. I thought we competed against one of the better teams we played this year.
You've lost a couple here at home now, and now you've got to go out to play arguably the 2 best teams in the league on the road. Just talk about the mindset these guys have to take, to be able to go down and compete.
Well, it's a quick turnaround, Dudley, number one, and we just got to go play. That's all. Just go play, and we'll see what the outcome is. I think if we go with the same, the intensity, the same mindset that we saw, especially in that second half, I think we'll be okay. I think we play with anybody. Obviously, going to Tennessee, they're a very talented basketball team, but let it hurt to midnight, and then we'll get preparation in terms of getting ready for a very good Tennessee team. Every game in this league, that's how it's going to be. Every night, and we're seeing it. You know, it's a possession here, a possession there. I think somebody lost on a buzzer beater today, and so it's our league is really, really good from top to bottom. I mean, people may think it's top heavy, but it's not. And so the schedule continues, and we just got to continue to try to get better. That's it.
Mike, you've always had such a good home record, and this is 4 home losses already. I think it ties the most you've ever had here. Just how tough is that? Is this the byproduct of a young team? What do you think's going on?
Yeah, you can see it. You can see it. This team is learning and growing. You know, we're playing some very talented teams, and so we got to be able to continue to grow and learn how to play with a sense of urgency to defend the home court. I think that's big. Our fans were unbelievable today. You know, congratulations to Sidney. I said the other day as they celebrate, you know, him going into the Hall of Fame. But at the same time, our fans, you know, they were great today, and our guys responded. I thought our guys responded in a positive way. No, I don't like losing. I don't like losing, period. Now, home, away, it don't matter. I don't. And so we've got me and my staff and our players, we'll find a way. We're going to find a way. We always do. Our teams, again, will continue to get better. It's just like I said in December. It'll be different in January. Well, I think in February you'll see a different team. And we'll learn. These will be learning lessons for us.
I got to make it a 2 for then. Reggie obviously had a good bounce-back game like you anticipated, and then Isaiah's struggled the last couple games. What do you think's going on there?
He's learning. He's being guarded. I mean, that's it. And strength is a factor, and so therefore our bench has got to step up and play, and I thought our bench played well. I thought Reggie came in, and he got the
Rush.
Welcome back into the Morning Rush. Going to have the best of the worst and the worst of the weekend coming up here in about 5 minutes, and it is presented by Washington Regional.
Washington Regional Medical Center, committed to providing stroke care that aligns with the latest research-based treatment guidelines. Studies show patients recover better when they follow these guidelines, like the Get With The Guidelines and Target Stroke Quality programs that you'll find at Washington Regional Medical Center. It's just one more way. Washington Regional is working to improve health care for you and your family. Learn more at wregional.com.
People are upset in Arkansas. They feel like Arkansas should be ranked higher than 16th in the D1 baseball preseason top 25.
Of course they do.
I mean, why not?
Of course.
Like there is somebody in my mentions right now. They don't have a name, so I can't even mention it. But they're sitting there and they're yelling in all caps. Did they not know that we finished second last year?
When?
Last year.
Last year. Yeah.
Because apparently nobody left from last year's team, Tommy. It has nothing to do with that. Listen, folks, it's preseason. It's just there for you to read. And when you get all up in arms about it, when you start tweeting about it, when you start sharing it, D1 baseball wins. So no reason to get up in arms, because at the end of the day, it just matters of what you do in the regular season to get yourself into postseason play, and then you go from there. Preseason rankings mean nothing other than just a talking point. But I think you at least are at the point now as a Razorback baseball team to where you will always be in the top 25. As long as Dave Van Horn is your coach, you are a top 25 team at minimum. Even in your bad years, in your off years, you're a top 25 team. I think that's Dave Van Horn. I also think it's the competition in the SEC. The SEC's to that level now, like even more so than it is in football, where as long as you're in this conference, you're going to get the benefit of the doubt. So anyways, there's a lot of people that are really excited for baseball season, especially given the terrible football season and the less than stellar start to conference play for the basketball team. You know, I think people are just wanting to say, man, can we just get something that we can buy into and really get excited about the rest of the way? Seems like baseball has kind of been that one sport that you can count on, especially with this last year. Now going into this year, may not be as great. May not get back to the College World Series final, and you may not be one out away from winning it all and winning the national title. But you can at least have fun out in the outfield at baseball games at home, right? Drinking waters and Sprites.
Yeah.
Or, excuse me,
Shirley Temples.
Sierra Mist. Is that still a thing out there? Pepsi products of the corporation?
What was it Jalen Hurts once? Shirley Temples?
Shirley Temples.
Shirley Temples.
I'm sure there'll be a lot of those out there in the outfield for Razorback baseball. The best and the worst of the weekend coming up in 2 minutes. Stay with us, folks.
Hi, folks. Larry Rath here with a better way to drive from Rath Auto Resources. A new year means it's time.
Yeah, it was another great comeback by you guys like you had the other night, but ultimately it's a loss. How tough is that to have these big comebacks and then you just fall short in the end?
I mean, it's tough. I mean, to go out and play your tail off for 40 minutes and then to come out, then have to play an extra 5 minutes for overtime. And I mean, to have a loss like that, I mean, it's one that's going to, hurt us real bad. I mean, it's like Coach said, it's going to have to hurt till midnight. But, games go either way. So hopefully the next game we come out on top.
Did they talk before this game just to really concerted effort to get you the ball?
I mean, it's always, a big factor of me, like, getting the ball. Every time I touch it, Coach says every time I touch it, good things happen. And, I mean, every time I touch it, I try to make, the best play. I try to score it, or I try to either get it out to a shooter. Most of the time tonight I scored. But, I mean, it's been one of the big focuses, in practices and stuff. And it's just, it led to the game. So the sad thing is we just didn't come out on top tonight.
Daniel, Reed, obviously a great player, hit 4 out of 4 threes. Did that surprise you, his range and just the threes? They hit 7 more threes than you guys did. How big were the three-pointers? And that's how they got the lead in overtime.
The three-pointers that he hit, those were big threes. Those were some real big plays. I mean, he came down and he took his time and he knocked them down because, we left him wide open. And that's just, that's just our fault right there because, we got to rotate on him, especially off the ball screen. But, he came down, he took his time and knocked him down, and that's what hurt us in overtime because he came down, I think they hit like 2 back-to-back threes. It's just some stuff that we need to fix.
Hey, Daniel, can you speak about the player Reggie Chaney? I thought maybe his best game since he's been at Arkansas. Y'all really looked comfortable out there together in the high-low and then working together down low.
One thing I was telling Reggie and basically all the other guys that were coming off the bench behind him, I was telling them that, when he touched the ball, they sagged off of him. And, they left the lane wide open for him. So I just told him whenever he touched the ball, just go straight towards the basket. Either get fouled and get an and one or just score the basket. And what he did tonight, he did some really big things for us. He rebounded for us. He blocked shots for us. He came out and even guarded Tremont for us. He kept him contained for a couple of possessions. And, it's just, he has his times, and I'm pretty sure he's going to have his times throughout the season.
Daniel, Arkansas has always been a good home team. This is 4 losses here in Fayetteville. Now, how tough is that, and how surprising is that? And what do you think you guys got to do to kind of lock down home again?
I would say the main thing we got to do to lock down home is play defense, and another thing is to hit free throws. For instance, I missed 2 big free throws today. We got to make sure we hit free throws, especially on the home court, because that's what we got to.
Now, 2 hours down, 1 hour to go. Appreciate everybody listening in on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. John Neighbors, Tommy Kraft, Todd Richardson, all in studio with you today. Thank you, as always, for making us a part of your morning this morning on a Monday morning quarterback presented by Crabtree RV.
Yeah, get yourself ready for the Greater Fort Smith RV Boat and Outdoor Show. It's going to be hosted by Crabtree RV in Alma, January 25th through February the 2nd. You'll see a little bit of everything. Bass, ski, and pontoon boats, golf carts, tractors, mowers, four-wheelers, side-by-sides, and the latest outdoor clothing and equipment as well. It's all under one roof. It's all going to be at Crabtree RV in Alma. And, of course, you'll find plenty of motorhomes, fifth wheels, and travel trailers as well. January 25th through February the 2nd at the Greater Fort Smith RV Show, hosted by Crabtree RV in Alma.
All right, so without further ado, let's get into the best and the worst of the weekend.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
We the best.
This is the worst.
It's time for the best and worst of the weekend.
All right, we got a lot of people tweeting in about their best and worst of the weekend. We'll get to those in just a second. But there's a few things that I had the best of the weekend. The best of the weekend that I saw, of course, we mentioned the Game of Thrones trailer because I'm a Game of Thrones fan and I'm really pumped about that. But I'll go a sports route. Don't worry. The best thing I saw over the weekend was dealing with the NFL playoffs. And just how entertaining, of course, they were in the first weekend, and then getting into the second weekend. Maybe the games weren't as entertaining, but it's the Cowboys fans. I don't have an issue with the Dallas Cowboys. I don't hate them. I don't love them. I could care less. Couldn't care less. But there are some people out there listening to this show right now that you are diehard Cowboys fans, I'm sure. And you were probably pretty disappointed with the loss over the weekend. Yeah. 30-22 to the LA Rams. Was maybe you had some opportunities, but that offense for the Rams is just too good. They couldn't slow them down. But anyways, the best thing I saw is meltdown. I love meltdowns. I love fan base meltdowns. I love it anytime Kentucky basketball loses because of the meltdown that Kentucky fans have. There's just certain fan bases that when teams lose, it just goes all to the woodwork. And the main thing that I saw from Cowboy fans was the fact that they want Jason Garrett fired. They want him gone. They're tired of it. Terrell Owens, comes out on Twitter and says that, hey, tagging Jerry Jones in a tweet, saying it's time to move on from Jason Garrett. And I'm just scratching my head about all this. And I need, if there's any Cowboy fans listening right now, you can tweet at me, you can call in the show, whatever it is. But just help me understand, why do you melt down so much about Jason Garrett? Is he that bad of a coach? Is he that terrible?
Well, you could do a lot worse.
Because I'm looking at it, he's been to 3 playoffs. He's been there for 8 years now. He's been to 3 playoffs. He's won 2 games in the playoffs, which before then, it was a long stretch before you ever had it. And I guess the closest one was when they lost to the Green Bay Packers in the NFC divisional game, where was it a catch or is it a catch and all that stuff. That may have been the closest you've ever gotten it. But I guess I just don't see why people are so infuriated, why they hate Jason Garrett, why they think he's the worst coach of all time. Because honestly, when you look around the NFL, you could do a lot worse. And let's be honest, folks, you lost to the Rams, like one of the best teams in the NFL. It's not like you lost to a lesser opponent. It's not like you lost at home. You went on the road, played fairly decently against a really good team. And so I just don't understand where this hatred comes from. But it was the best thing I saw, just because I love meltdowns, but I just don't get the meltdown. I don't get the anger and angst against Jason Garrett when they won the division this year. They won a game in the playoffs. They just lost to a better team, and so everyone's up in arms. I don't get it. I really don't.
One of the best things I thought of the weekend was the Chiefs winning. I'm not a big Chiefs fan, but I mean, I kind of admire their fan base and how I root for them. I mean, if I'm going to jump on a bandwagon at this point, it's going to be the Chiefs. I was happy they won in really such dominating fashion, because every fan I know of the Chiefs this week was really worried about the Colts. But to see Patrick Mahomes and a player to have accomplished what he has done this year, solidify that by confirming it, getting into the AFC Championship game, I thought that was one of the best parts of the weekend. I'm with you. I thought the divisional playoff games left us with a lot to be desired as far as drama and competition, and we're sure hoping for a better weekend of tight games in the conference championship games this weekend. But I was happy the Chiefs won this weekend. Not that I'm a Chiefs fan, but I think Arrowhead for an AFC championship game is going to be, what would you give? What would you give to be there? I mean, it's going to be like 1 degree. It's going to be miserable sitting out there, but you would love it. I mean, what would you give to have a good ticket?
I do.
If you could be sitting in front of a fireplace watching the game with all the food and drink you want, or let's just say an end zone seat, lower level. Not a great seat, not an awful seat. Which would you take? Would you go to the game?
I'd go to the game.
I would too.
I would go to the game, because I've been to a Chiefs game once, and this was a couple of years ago. Actually, it was on my birthday, and it was a Monday night game against the Redskins.
Awesome.
And I've been to some loud places, some great atmospheres, but it is loud in that stadium, and they get crazy with it. And I can't imagine what it's going to be like for an AFC title game.
I've been to 3 or 4 games at Arrowhead, and it's a great place. Kansas City's really got with Kauffman Stadium next door. They just really haven't figured out how to control traffic. You can get in, you get out. There's plenty of parking around the stadium. You don't have to hunt for $50 parking and all that. I mean, it's just
they got it going.
Got it going on. It's a great place to go to a game. It's an older stadium. It doesn't have a lot of the amenities of like Jerry's World or something.
Still works.
But it is I'm telling you, this weekend that's going to be the place to be.
And it's the Patriots that they're playing.
Well,
I mean, what could be better than that?
I thought they would have fared better against the Chargers, not because they're not the Patriots, but how do you get ready for cold weather? The Patriots will have no problem going outside and practicing and acclimating and being ready for cold weather. The Chargers would have had a hard time getting ready for that atmosphere, that environment, not just the noise, but the temperature.
And the travel. I mean, you're going from West Coast to East Coast. I mean, that's quite a difference. So, I'm hoping for great. I'm hoping the Chiefs win. I'm fatigued on the Patriots. I always have been. I don't like the Patriots. But if you look at it, I want Trey Flowers to do really well, though.
Yeah.
I just don't want him to win.
We live in a great spot. If it ends
Yeah.
up being Saints, Chiefs, we're going to have a fun 2 weeks.
Yeah. Only thing would have been better would be Cowboys and Chiefs, but this Saints and Chiefs will be pretty good,
I
too.
agree with you.
And that game's going to be in Atlanta. So, I mean, I'm hoping for that matchup for that reason alone.
Yeah.
Plus, you'll sit to see.
That's what I want right
Yeah.
now. I want Saints and Chiefs.
And you get to see the old veteran Drew Brees versus the young up-and-coming phenom Patrick Mahomes. I think that'd be the best matchup for everybody involved. So
Saints look like the best team, but we'll find out.
yeah, we'll find out. That's for sure. All right, the worst thing of the weekend that I saw, I guess I have to choose with the Arkansas Razorback basketball team and that performance, because it's weird because Daniel Gafford performed as well as he ever has in a single game, 32 points. I mean, you can't ask any more of him. You had Mason Jones who performed very well as well. In fact, he's probably been one of the more consistent players for Arkansas. He has
scored 52 in the last 2.
Yeah, not bad. 22 points, 6 of 10 from shooting. But it's the problem is you had guys like Reggie Chaney that stepped up, and that's all well and good. But you got to be able to get more from other guys around and also better defensively. You just seems like you can't get it all in one pace. When you needed your offense to step up against Florida, you couldn't get it going even though your defense was good. When you needed your defense to step up, you couldn't get it going even though your offense was good against LSU. You just can't get it going all at the same time. And the worst thing about all of this is the worst of the worst, I guess, thing I saw of the weekend, is losing at home to Bud Walton. It just doesn't happen. It can't happen. It shouldn't happen. You lost to teams at Bud Walton Arena this year. All 4 teams. You can even make this argument. All 4 teams you were better than. Maybe LSU. I know that their record's pretty good. They got some really good players and an NBA caliber player when it comes to Reed. But you should have won all these games. And you should be in a completely different position right now if you had. Just imagine if Arkansas had won these 4 home games in Bud Walton Arena, they'd have 1 loss on the season right now. 1 loss. Instead, they're sitting at 10-5. And it's losing its luster. And the last thing you want to do is now you go on the road to Tennessee and to Ole Miss, 2 of the best teams in the SEC right now. At least that's how they're looking. And you're probably not going to win that. You come back from Missouri, maybe you get that victory, and then you go back on the road to Texas Tech. And it's just you got to protect home court advantage as much as possible. Bud Walton's always been that place. And if you would have told me that Arkansas at this point in time would be 10-5, but they had lost 4 games at Bud Walton Arena, 2 of them to Georgia Tech and Western Kentucky, I would have thought you're crazy just because of that home court advantage. But it doesn't seem like they have it this year as far as that home court. Really disappointing to see. And you hope that Bud Walton hasn't lost any of its luster for whatever reason.
Yeah.
The worst thing I saw for sure.
Just to piggyback on you, I mean, fans are showing up. I know it's not 18 and 19,000 on a Saturday. Matt Zimmerman on the radio Coach Z was pretty clear there were more than 11,000 in there. I don't know. Are tickets not getting scanned?
I don't know.
What is I mean, is that a real thing? I don't know. I was not in the building. It's hard to judge. Well, it sounded louder than 11,500. I mean, I don't know. How does 13,000 sound versus 11,500? I have no idea. It did look like on TV, and it's hard to tell because it's dark in the background. Right. All the lighting is focused on the floor. It's hard to tell. The whole idea of having ticket scanners is to accurately know how many people are in attendance. Why is this such a debate? There seems like there's more debate now with scanned tickets than there was pre-scanning tickets. When someone just, I don't know, took a scientific wild butt guess as to how many people were in here. But nonetheless, it was a big enough crowd to get you through that. I mean, the home court edge
good atmosphere
is still there for everything but the team. I don't understand how you have lost, as a program who has one of the best home courts in America, 4 games this year. That was one of the worst things I saw this weekend was Arkansas looking like, hey, the one big edge we have playing at home is no longer an edge at all.
Yeah. It's not.
In fact, the only place you've won in conference play so far is on the road. Now you go to Tennessee. Oh, mercy. Well, they have executed teams. They're just execute. Now they had a little harder time with Florida this weekend, but
still,
they
beat Georgia by 50.
They have been executing teams over there, not beating them, executing them.
I mean, it's all bad. It's all bad. So it's not going to get any easier for Arkansas going forward. You felt like LSU and Florida were 2 games you should win at home, and now you haven't. And now you got to make up for it somewhere. I don't know if you're going to have enough opportunities to make up for it.
The other worst of the weekend. This is not sports at all. Had an assignment in Oklahoma City this weekend. Pull into a drive-thru to get a drink on my way out of town. and there is a car like parked at the you pull up to the window, but there's a car just past that, and there's nobody in the car. So you can't get all the way quite up to the window to give them your money and to get your drink. And the person inside the window acted like it's no big deal. I'll just keep easing up. She was like giving me directions, like you were pulling in to the $10 lot there at Oaklawn where they were inching you on up so you could touch the bumper of the car in front of you. Like, no big deal. I'm like,
why is there a car there?
It's like it's her friend or something. I don't know, I'm like, well, what am I going to do if someone pulls in by? I mean, it was just the strangest thing ever. And then the response was like, not, hey, Susie, you need to move your car. Hey,
Nope.
John, move your car.
Nope.
We got customers. We got customers. Hey, you just need to be careful as you ease up. And this was like this was not a car like you were. Let's just say this car had a few miles on it.
Yeah. It's not one that somebody
It
said
had been rode hard a little bit.
Yeah. If you would have hit it, they would have had insurance to pay for it. One
Right.
of those risky moves.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, I understand that. That's annoying.
That was very. I don't know if that fits into What's Your Beef Wednesday or now, but it crossed
We
my
make it
mind,
work.
and I'm like,
we make it work.
This is like a reputable national chain. What are you doing letting your buddy pull up? Just leave? I mean, okay, I'm going to go inside and get more ketchup. This is where I'm leaving my car? Unattended? And I was in the drive-thru like 7 minutes to get one drink. Unbelievable.
Can't fix stupid. That's for sure. Yeah, that's pretty terrible. I got my truck stuck over the weekend.
Hang on, you got like a 4-wheel drive monster truck.
Yep.
Lifted. It's got 6-wheel drive.
Yep.
I mean, it's got everything you want on it.
Yep. Got it stuck.
How?
I mean,
what'd you say?
It's compensating for something.
I thought you said he was incompetent, like incompetent driving.
No, he's an okay driver. Just,
Well,
I
until
know
it
what they
comes
say
to the
about
mud.
guys in big trucks, though.
Yeah. Well, I had a Mustang convertible and a Mercury Cougar before that, so
Cougar.
I don't know. I guess I'm kind of just going back and forth here. I don't know, but I don't know. I'll tell this story on the other side of the break. We got to hit a commercial break. Got a lot of tweets to shore up as well from best of worst of the weekend. That is for sure. More of the Morning Rush coming up next.
I thought our guys responded well in overtime. I was worried with the foul trouble and the way it got to overtime. But Arkansas did a great job. They did the same thing they did in the Florida game. They got down and they turned up the heat and came back and we lost our composure a little bit, but we were able to regain it in overtime. So I was really proud of our guys. This is a very, very tough place to play and good win for us. Bringing 6 new guys on the road for their first SEC game. So really proud of our guys. I thought Nas played great. I thought Tremont did a good job distributing the ball. I thought Marlon Taylor was huge for us. And, we just fortunately made a few more plays. Gafford was a man down there and did a tremendous job. And we didn't have many answers for him, but we got a stop on him late, and that ultimately was the difference in the game.
For both players, what was the key? Because Arkansas made a big run back. They seemed to have the momentum in overtime. They took the lead, then you guys got it back. But what was the key to taking over in overtime?
Coach in practice telling us to stay together. Without that, I don't know if we have. I have confidence in us, but I don't know if we could have done that as well as we did.
I would say just coming together. Obviously, the crowd got really into the game. So, and guys on our team were against the refs at some points and just crying about fouls and stuff like that. But as a team, as a whole, the 5 that were on the court, we pretty much just came back together and just stayed glued, and that was the key to us winning.
As you had that dunk, and then a second later, the guy ref teed you up. Did you say something, or what happened on that technical?
The ball came to me, and as I was running, I just kind of swiped it out my way. I wasn't really intentionally throwing it, but stuff like that happens. You just gotta keep playing.
Kind of surprised them with the 3-pointers that maybe you seemed like you were wide open on some of those.
If that was the game plan, I guess they read me wrong. But I mainly just keep working in the gym. That's what made me convert those. So.
Will, it was a pretty big difference in three-pointers today, you guys and their guys. What was your take on the impact of the three today?
We came in, I mean, obviously Joe and Jones are just lethal three-point shooters, but we let Jones just drive it all over us today, and we fouled him. I don't know how many times we went to the foul line, at least a dozen. And so we wanted to run those guys off the three, and we ultimately tested our theory. We didn't think they could win. You know, we could lose 2 by 2, and I didn't intend on giving Gafford quite as many easy looks as we gave him. But we felt like if we could get it into, you know, keep Arkansas off the 3-point line, we'd have a good chance, and that's what ultimately happened.
Coach Wade, did you feel that you had to win this game 4 or 5 times, and were some of the perimeter passes maybe more casual than you would have liked when you had leads? Yeah,
I wish, you know, like I said, turned up the heat, which is what they do and what they're great at, and we didn't meet the ball. We were a little bit laissez-faire with some of the passes, but you know, you never feel comfortable when you're on the road, when you're playing a team as good as Arkansas, a team that presses and runs like Arkansas does. You never feel comfortable. So I'm not necessarily sure we had to win it multiple times, but certainly I felt like you know, we probably deserved to win or earned the right to win in regulation, and then when that doesn't happen, you feel like you got to turn around and do it again in overtime, which our guys did.
Well, sorry if you answered this question already, but you always talk about a 6-minute game. Tonight it turned into 11-minute. Can you just tell me about the way they hung in there?
We were better in the overtime than we were in the 6-minute game in regulation, but we were much better in overtime. I thought Javante's 3 was a huge shot for us in overtime, got us going, and you know, I thought we just executed a little bit better in the overtime than we did at the end of the game.
Naz, when you're going to play a game against somebody like Daniel Gafford, does that get you a little bit more hyped for the game, or is it even a thought?
Way more hype, you know. He's a lottery pick, I would say, and you know, just us going at it is a great matchup. So, I mean, I wouldn't say I wouldn't be.
Well, I guess you guys have lost 9 in a row on the road since you won here. Now you're 2-0 here in Walton Arena. A lot of coaches can't say they've won 2 and not lost any here. How do you feel about that? You're 3-0 against Arkansas too, and Tremont, you're 3-0 against Arkansas and won twice. Or how do you feel about that?
I mean, I don't know. I think it's more coincidence than anything. I mean, you know, this is obviously one of the 2 or 3 toughest places to play in our league. I think they've got the 3rd best home record for a while. They'd won 9 straight Saturday home games here. I knew that, Arkansas, and they hadn't lost back-to-back games in like 8 years at home. So there was a lot of, you know, this is just a tough place to play. And when you have a point guard like Tremont, that helps. And, you know, having him to combat some of the pressure and make those reads, because you can't really run against Arkansas what you would typically run, because you're kind of, they take you out of what you want to do. So you got to have somebody that you trust and somebody that you feel comfortable with to make the right reads. And Tremont did that. Skylar did that at times. Javante did that at times. And I think that helps us.
Right now, and look at New Holland tractors, hay and forage equipment, harvesting, seeding, spraying, and construction equipment. It all ends on March the 31st with special in-store deals and financing options that are available right now. So get by and see him at Williams Tractor in Fayetteville and in Berryville.
Let's go to the phone lines. Rod is on I-40. What's going on, Rod?
Good morning, guys. I couldn't lay off the Jason Garrett thing, but Tennessee is exactly the kind of game we win that drives me nuts.
So wait. You think Arkansas is going to go to Knoxville and win?
I think that's exactly what a Razorback does. They win the things that they should never be in the same zip code with, and they'll turn around and lose to Lafayette. But, yeah, I think there's a possibility of it's crazy, I know, but I've seen it so many years where we beat teams we have no business beating and lose to things that should never happen. That's just the MO, I guess. But Jason Garrett, I couldn't lay off that. That's like a hanging fastball right over the middle of the plate. Yeah, he's the very best mediocre backup quarterback that Jerry Jones could hire for a head coach. At least he's not Cliff Kingsbury. He is the Tony Romo of coaches. I mean, this guy will do the very utmost to get exactly what he needs to keep his job. It drives me nuts. It's like a nightmare that'll never end.
I mean, hey, man, the Cowboys won their division and won a playoff game. I'm not saying that's the end game here, but it's not like he's just been trashing it. I mean, he won the division.
But how many years have we gone?
How many years have you gone what?
Gone what? Yeah.
Yeah, gone without really getting to the higher level. I mean,
Well, I
it's
know,
not
but-
like we're there every year.
Well, I know, but I'm saying like if this is his latest example though of him winning the division and then
winning a playoff game
and having a young, talented quarterback like Dak Prescott. I mean, wouldn't you want to see where it plays out? That maybe he's starting to finally get it together. If that's what his latest example is.
I hope so. I hope that's the latest example. I hope it's not turn around and, oh, yeah, I can't hold a snap to kick a field goal or catch 4 interceptions in the fourth quarter to lose to Arizona. I really wish we could get to a little bit higher level, like, winning the, one side and getting to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That'd be nice for, first time in 30 years.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Yeah.
Appreciate the phone call.
Question
Rod.
is Dak on the same level as Baker or Patrick Mahomes or some of these other guys? Right now, you'd have to say no.
No, he's not. More of the Morning Rush coming up next.
It's obviously it's another game, but just moving forward, we got to just keep that same energy, that same attitude every time we step on the floor. And as far as Arkansas, they're a great team, and it's just like Coach said, it's pretty much a coincidence. And that's really it.
How did y'all keep it together with only 5 players left, basically?
Coach Wade always pushes us through situations during practice, at the end of practice while we're dog tired after he runs us all practice pretty much. So just already being in that environment, like Coach played, I don't know what sound it was during practice this past week, but it was like hog sound and like their chant with their band and stuff like that. So, and he puts it on full blast, so you can't like hide from it, like you can't block it out. So just being like in that environment already, just knowing that we trust each other and just coming together as brothers and knowing that our family will be there. The guys on the bench, a few fans that were there, everyone was locked in tonight, so I felt pretty good.
Coach Wade, you kind of talked about Daniel Gafford a little bit. What did he do today in your eyes? I know he got really good position a lot, but did you really just want to play behind him? Was that the goal?
Not really. But that's kind of what ended up happening. We just, you give him angles like we gave him. We tried to do the same thing we did last year, which was kind of help off the 4 men. Now the 4 men hit a couple shots. Chaney hit a shot early. A couple of those guys hit some shots early, so we couldn't quite help as much off those guys. And Coach Anderson adjusted and put a little bit better shooting in there and had him curling some screens and some different things that gave us some problems. So, we gave him. I mean, he's a great player. You give him angles, and I knew they were going to go to Gafford. I think Coach Anderson, I watched his press conference. He talked about we got to play inside out. We got to get the ball inside. We got to get the ball inside. I thought they got the ball inside, and I thought their bench played well. I know those were 2 areas coming out of Florida that Arkansas was trying to get going, and we just didn't do a good job stopping him. But like I said, we really wanted to concentrate on Joe and Jones. We didn't want to give those guys threes because I think next to turnovers, I think the crowd here feeds off the threes. When they get barraging you from 3, I think the crowd gets into it, and I thought we could keep the crowd out of it if we didn't turn it over and have a bunch of live ball turnovers and didn't get barraged by 3.
Nas, you've had some slow starts early in the season. What got into you today? Did you feel like you were going to have it today?
Just a bounce back game from Alabama's game, and wanting to win. Something that I hate. I'm like a sore loser, so I don't want to lose anything. So I'm going to put my all on the floor and just mainly wanting to win.
Dilly dilly. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri.
ESPN 95.3. Razorback videos, articles, and podcasts. Find them all at hitthatline.com. This is The Morning Rush.
Welcome back into the Morning Rush and the best of the worst of the weekend, presented by Workman's Travel Center.
Yeah, Workman's Travel Center, 3 great locations to take care of you in Rudy, Ozark, and in Lowell. More than just a convenience store. Brand new menu items right now at the Ozark Mountain Grill that you'll find at each location. Try the new Piggy Mac Burger. See if this is up your guys' alley right here, all right? Half-pound patty, pulled pork, bacon, cheddar cheese on a sweet bun.
I'd probably give it an old college try.
Yeah.
Give it an old whirl.
Yeah. You can find that at the Ozark Mountain Grill along with a lot of other favorites. You had me at hamburger patty, but, you know, you put pulled pork and bacon on it and some cheddar cheese. And these sweet buns, like these King Hawaiian roll type deal,
can't go wrong with that.
Can't go wrong with one of those. So, hey, whether you're headed to the game or headed back home, Workman's Travel Center. They're there to be your pit stop, get you everything you need. Again, in Rudy, exit 24 off I-49, exit 35 at Ozark off of I-40, and on Highway 23 in Lowell as well. That's exit 78 off I-49. That's Workman's Travel Center.
By the way, we've had the best of the worst of the weekend, and we've had a bunch of people tweet in at us. And we'll be reading those tweets for you as well and give our thoughts and opinions, because it's amazing how much of the worst of the weekend was a lot of it dealing with the Razorback basketball team. But we'll talk about that. But right now, let's go to the phone lines. Justin is in Rogers. What's going on, Justin?
Oh, not much. What's going on, fellas?
Oh, not too much. What you got for us?
Well, I was just listening to you guys earlier. I got a question about watching these games. Would you guys rather sit in front of that fireplace at Gaston's on the White River while the wife cooks up some fresh trout? Or would you guys rather be sitting in that end zone freezing your rear ends off drinking a frosty beer?
You don't need an ice chest at Arrowhead this weekend. You just put the beer in the trunk, you know.
Yeah, just leave it out. Yeah,
right.
Have it in your hand, and it'll keep cold.
Well, see, when you throw the whole Gaston's thing in there, you'd have to get to like 50-yard line. You'd have to put me between the 40s to really get me to go the other way.
Oh, I hear you. I just want to remind all your listeners right now, it's 40% off, man. I'm taking the whole family and some cousins and nieces and stuff over there for the whole weekend for $400.
There you
Can't
go.
beat it.
Can't. Fishing's good right now, too. So, yeah, and then you can watch the game there, and they'll bring the firewood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm with
sir.
you. Let them bring the firewood. Yeah. Hey, enjoy
All right,
yourself.
guys. Y'all have a good one.
All
You
right.
too, Justin. Appreciate it, man.
I think he's got it figured out.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is when it comes to watching certain games, if you can have a destination-type place to watch it and run up a fireplace, especially when it's cold outside, then I think that it works out for you in your favor dealing with that. So, but, you know, we were actually talking about watching the games and whatnot. And, you know, since it's on Sundays, it kind of, when you watch these NFL games, it kind of puts you pretty limited in a lot of the places that you can actually watch the games.
Careful, Ty's listening. You know, don't let him know.
Yeah. Well,
we'll talk about it after the show.
Yeah, we don't want to give out our
Ty's in here.
super secret plan.
Where we're going.
I'm sure he's really interested in what we're doing. I'm sure
I guess I'll go to Fayetteville then.
Yeah. What about
Forget
that?
y'all?
Well, good. We'll go to your house while you're gone.
Yeah, we'll hang out. Yeah, we'll
drink all your beer.
Yeah, have a lot of fun doing it that way.
There is
too.
some in the mini fridge. Yeah.
But hey, having a destination spot though for watching these games, it's like you have to do something.
To me, this is the best weekend because you can get everything done in the morning. The games don't start till 2:00, and then you can just zero in 2 till whenever. You know,
But it's like
it'll be about till 9 or so.
I almost enjoy them better than the Super Bowl.
I'm with you. I like this weekend more than any other pro football weekend.
For the football just itself.
Because the football's good, and it's not the spectacle of the Super Bowl, and you get usually two great games.
Yeah. Because the Super Bowl, there's been a lot of cases, hadn't been so great.
Hey, Art's Barbecue with a lot of healthy options on the menu for you to choose from, whether it's there's smoked turkey on a salad, smoked ham, a chef salad. You can get the brisket, sliced smoked chicken, pulled pork, brisket, all put on a salad right now. So if you're looking for healthy options, you know, new year, new you type thing, resolutions, treadmill, they can help you at Art's. And you can have it delivered. Use the Waiter app for that. Healthy options available now at Art's Barbecue, Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
In Fort Smith combines over 90 years of family-owned experience with the best sales and service teams around. And at Ora Auto Park, every new vehicle comes with a lifetime engine warranty, free maintenance for a few years, and free car washes for the life of the vehicle. The largest selection, the biggest discounts, and the best buying experience around. These are some of the reasons why you always score more with Ora Auto Park in Fort Smith. Stop in today, or they are always open online 24/7 at orautopark.com.
With your hectic schedule, it's hard to find time to keep your house clean. So for the carpets, upholstery, drapes, wood floors, and more, why not leave the cleaning to the professionals? Service Master Clean. Give Service Master Clean a call today at 646-4087 and get the clean you expect and the service you deserve. A clean carpet isn't all they guarantee. They have over 50 years of experience in the cleaning industry with an unrivaled reputation for service, professionalism, and customer satisfaction. Their employees are professionally trained and well-equipped. They specialize in cleaning carpets, upholstery, draperies, and wood floors to give your home that deep down clean. Give Service Master Clean a call today at 646-4087 and get the clean you expect and the service you deserve. Their knowledgeable, insured, and professional technicians will provide you with a free, no obligation estimate you can rely on and a guarantee to do the work right the first time, or they'll do it over, no questions asked. That's Service Master Clean. Give Service Master Clean a call today at 646-4087 and get the clean you expect and the service you deserve.
Tri-Hill Turf offers the highest quality turf and pest services. Hey, you say those are big words. Well, let's see. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has a company agronomist, state and nationally certified technicians, free soil testing, and they even have precision GPS guided application equipment. Now that's high tech. For over 30 years, Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has used the latest application technology, and they strive for turf and pest excellence. They are your local turf and pest experts. Call the local team at 782-0404. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest.
ESPN 95.3. The most entertaining sports talk radio show in the Natty State. This is The Morning Rush.
Welcome back into the Morning Rush on a Monday morning quarterback presented by Crabtree RV.
Yeah, the Greater Fort Smith RV Boat and Outdoor Show, January 25th through February the 2nd. You'll see the latest and the greatest in everything like motorhomes, travel trailers, fifth wheels, plus bass boats, ski boats, pontoons, golf carts, tractors, mowers, four-wheelers, side-by-sides, ATVs, bad boy mowers, outdoor clothing and equipment. They're going to have it all under one roof. It's one thing about their 26,000 square foot indoor showroom. They got room for everything. So make your plans to be there January 25th through February the 2nd. Every day, Greater Fort Smith RV and Outdoor Show. It's going to be at Crabtree RV in Alma, exit 13 off of I-40. It's where your family's dreams come true.
If you're just joining us, we've been doing a lot of best and the worst of the weekend, and I asked this question on Twitter, and of course we have a lot of your responses. It's funny how many are coming back with the Arkansas Razorbacks, but Zach says the best that he saw, Tommy, was West Ham United getting the W over Arsenal.
Well, soccer talk?
Yeah, I guess that's pretty good.
Yeah. Or football.
The worst, though, is he saw the Cowboys lose in the playoffs, so at least that was the non-Razorbacks one. War Machine says the best was the Eagles finally running out of luck, because that's what it goes back to. It seems like the Cowboys, you were happy when the Eagles lost, and the Eagles, you were happy when the Cowboys lost, even though you both lost.
And that game started out interception, score, and then 14-0 Eagles. Like, are the Saints going to get beat on their home field in the divisionals? They fought back, obviously, but that game was. They scored 20 unanswered. That was a pretty entertaining game, but started out 14-0.
Yeah.
Eagles. 14-0 Eagles.
And it's pretty amazing, though, that certain places, certain stadiums have such a home field advantage that, when you get into the playoffs and you have that higher seed, it really comes in handy. And I think New Orleans is one of those places where their home field advantage comes into play big time there in the playoffs especially.
There were, I don't say as many, but there were a lot of Cowboy fans at the Coliseum for that game.
Yeah.
My cousin traveled out there. He's from Dallas.
But L.A.'s got a lot of Cowboys fans. I mean, Cowboy fans are everywhere.
Right.
But there was probably a fourth, a third, something like that, Cowboys fans.
No, they were saying 60-40 Cowboys fans.
Really?
They're saying they outnumbered the Rams fans
Which
there.
is so weird.
If you think about it, it's not like the NFL hadn't been there in quite some time, and you talk about the Cowboys fans, so that's just a national brand.
Didn't they play one of their Super Bowls there?
May have.
I know they played one out in Arizona. I think they played one there, too.
Yeah.
I may be wrong about that.
Which I get. Hey, there's a lot of Cowboys
fans. It's been so long ago, I can't remember.
Exactly. Well, and I get it. It's Cowboys fans are everywhere, but at the same time, though, I mean, to expect place like Los Angeles.
I think it's at it was in Los Angeles, but it's at the Rose Bowl.
At the Rose Bowl, okay.
In Pasadena.
Yeah, but that's the thing is you think about, okay, well, still, you're the home team. You should have more fans there than the Dallas Cowboys fans.
That's what Cowboy fans do.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird situation there where you had a home field advantage almost more for the Cowboys than the Rams. But either way, the Rams get the victory in the very end. And one of these, this comes from Jeff. He said that the worst thing he saw over the weekend was the LSU shorts. Can we talk about this? Is this making a comeback?
The shorter shorts?
The short shorts?
Yeah.
Why?
And here's what I don't. If you watch, players are pulling them. I've seen a rash of this lately where players. One thing high school basketball is fighting is the players wanting to roll the shorts to make them shorter, roll them at the waistband, or stick them inside like a knee brace or a thigh brace, something to shorten them up. I don't. Maybe they've gotten too long. I don't know. But I saw a player this weekend that had them hiked up so short, it was almost uncomfortable.
It's weird, man. It's like you're smuggling grapes. It's just like when they get to that short, it just makes you wonder, okay, hopefully this isn't a thing.
To me, what is the athletic performance advantage you're seeking here?
Yeah.
Or are you just trying to look good?
Well, it's because forever, like even during the days of Larry Bird and Magic Johnson stuff, the short shorts were everything. I mean, it's like they were really short. And then I guess it was like in the 90s, I would say, late 80s, early 90s is when the long shorts, because Arkansas Razorbacks,
and saggy.
Them and the Fab Five at Michigan were kind of the pioneers of having the long, baggier shorts. Now, I don't know if that was more for just a look or if that was actually, like you said, maybe some type of competitive advantage. I don't know. But now that you see a lot more teams going back with maybe the shorter shorts, I don't know. It looks strange because you got so used to seeing long shorts. When you see someone short shorts, you're like, ooh, jeez, man, chill. We don't really need to see all that. So, but yeah, hey, Jeff, I get that. That was also one of the worst things. Yeah, one of the worst things that you could see.
The high thigh. No, I'm out.
Yeah, can't deal with that. But from the majority, though, most people said that the worst thing they saw over the weekend, though, was the performance by Arkansas and Bud Walton Arena, because it's one thing to lose. It's another thing when you lose a Bud Walton. It's like it's a whole nother animal of if you lose a game that you feel like you should at Bud Walton Arena, especially that they've lost four games in Bud Walton Arena so far this year. It's such an unnatural, rare thing, and you don't really know how to react to it. It makes you even more infuriated because it's like, it's not like, listen, you lost to Syracuse once in Bud Walton Arena, when they were really good. We all remember that game, and so there was no shame in that. You've lost to some good teams at home. Hey, sometimes it happens.
Well,
it happens
they
everywhere.
rarely go undefeated at home. No one was expecting to run the board.
I think they've only gone undefeated twice at home, and one of them was during the national championship year, so very rare.
So no one was expecting, like, hey, Mike, run the table. But when we were calculating how you get to the tournament, and we were doing the calculus on this, it included winning at least 7 of 9 home games at Bud Walton in conference play, and then trying to win 3 to 4 on the road. And now
you'd have to win the rest of your home games in Bud Walton for SEC play, and odds are not.
So you got to run the
favor.
table the rest of the way.
And odds are not.
Now you've won 1 on the road. So for every home game you lose, it's 1 more road game you must win.
Because at this point in time,
you may end up having to win at this string contention. You're going to have to win more on the road than you are at home. And you got to play Tennessee, obviously, tomorrow. Auburn and Mississippi State still to come on the road.
But do you feel
and Ole Miss, who looks better than we expected.
But do you feel like those 4 games that they've lost at home in Bud Walton, which is Western Kentucky, Georgia Tech, Florida, and now LSU, do you feel like Arkansas was the better team? And obviously not that day, but I'm just saying, were they better teams, or should they have won those games?
Western Kentucky and Georgia Tech, absolutely.
I agree. Florida's not a good team.
Florida's not a good team, but Florida gave Tennessee problems on Saturday.
They did. But I don't know if that's enough to justify whether or not they're... Because that's another problem that you think about. It's like you didn't lose to Tennessee at home. You didn't lose to Auburn at home. You lost to some teams that probably aren't even going to make the NCAA tournament.
The problem they had Saturday, LSU was just, and no one wants to talk about this because there's nothing you can do about it. LSU was bigger and more athletic.
Yeah.
They were bigger, faster, stronger.
Across the board.
They were more athletic than Arkansas. And Arkansas is going to struggle with teams that are more athletic.
Mm-hmm.
You got to out-rebound it. And then you compound your own problems with poor free throw shooting, which is going to be like the thing everybody that's like, give me the stats, give me the box score. What are the stats on free? No one cares about anything other than free throw shooting. 60%, by the way, on Saturday. 17 of 28 for the Hogs. Again, there's enough points there to win the ball game.
Yep.
And that's the thing that keeps frustrating people.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Daniel Gafford even mentioned it in his press conference after the game when he was meeting with the media. He missed 2 free throws down the stretch in regulation. 2 big misses.
Mm-hmm.
That could have inevitably made the difference.
See, to me, I wish they've got advanced metrics on this stuff.
Right.
That we don't have. They don't put it in the box score. And we're too lazy to keep up with it here. Free throws down the stretch. Free throws in the last 4 minutes matter more than the game percentage in games decided by less than 10 points. That's the number you really need is how well do you shoot free throws when the game's on the line? Because you may be a 75 or 80% team on the season. But making all your free throws in the first 10 minutes of the game, that's helpful. It all totals up. But making all your free throws in the last 5 minutes of the game is how you win them. Particularly when you're trying to preserve a lead. You lead by 4, the other team starts fouling.
Mm-hmm.
The only way for them to win is for you to miss free throws.
Yep.
That's the only way the other team, and everyone knows that has scouted Arkansas, free throw is a problem for this team. And they know exactly who to go after late in the game. These other coaches aren't as lazy as we are. Do keep up with the advanced metrics and do have a staff of people that chart such things. Here's who you need to foul. Oh, I don't know. Jalen Harris in the last 4 minutes. Tremendous distributor of the basketball, has not proven to be a great free throw shooter in the closing minutes of a ball game.
Mm-hmm. And, of course, Daniel Gafford, I mean, if he has the ball and you hack him,
Those are,
done.
to me, I mean, yes, free throw percentage matters as a team, absolutely. But how you shoot them in the closing minutes of the game matters far more.
And if you look at it from the 4 games especially, you can even say all 5 games that Arkansas has lost this year, including the one against Texas to start the year. There's obviously other factors that go into it. You can't just mark it up to free throw shooting. However, the thing that gets pointed to in those games, because why? It's a close game.
Mm-hmm.
You lost by just a few points. And just like it has, it's like, man, if you actually just made free throws when it counted, if Arkansas would have made the free throws against Texas or made the free throws against Western Kentucky or made the free throws against Florida, even though there's other factors and there's other problems, not saying that's the only problem, but in a game like this, when you're giving up so many points to LSU, field goal percentage, you shot pretty much close to the same. Obviously, they made 10 of 25 from three-point land. You only went 3 of 16. That's problematic. But the biggest difference in this game, 18 of 22 from the free throw line for LSU. Yeah. That's 82%. Arkansas shoots 60%. That's the difference in the game.
You can't have empty possessions inside that last 4-minute timeout. You take the under 4-minute media. If it's a tight ball game, you got to be darn near perfect as a team. Can't have empty possessions, can't have turnovers, can't be missing free throws. That's where the game's won and lost. It's like watching the NBA.
Mm-hmm. How do you think the games were won and lost the past 2 seasons for Arkansas when these games? Because you don't think back to all these games, but you think about how many close games Arkansas had.
It's about the last 4 minutes is where you've got to be better as a team.
You had Daryl Macon, who had ice in his veins when it came to free throw shooting late in the games. I mean, before that, you even had Dusty Hannis, who you knew was an automatic free throw shooter. You had guys you could count on. And that was the difference in a lot of those games that were so close. I think back to that Vanderbilt game on the road where Daryl Macon got fouled on a 3-point shot to tie it with like a second left. He goes up there and makes all 3.
Yep.
Like it was nothing. I mean, you don't have that guy right now. And I think that might be the biggest difference between you being an NCAA tournament team right now and you being a team that's going to miss the postseason because you don't have consistent enough free throw shooting to be able to win these close games, which you're going to have a lot more of those in SEC play.
You've got to take just good care of the basketball. You got to do everything down the stretch. This team is not good enough to just out-talent people night in, night out. Not going to do it.
No. And they don't have the depth to back it up either.
Yeah, that all goes together, hand in hand.
Yeah, they don't have the consistency. They don't have a lot of things.
When the clock is stopped and you got a 15-footer with nobody contesting it, you got to make them.
Yep. Got to take care of business. You got to make the free ones, and or else
And that's just universally
Yeah,
true.
I mean, it's
that's
for
not
every
like
team.
that's not like, wow, where'd you come up with that? That's instant analysis there. I mean, that's just that's basketball 101.
Mm-hmm.
But the possessions, because the thing is, you don't have enough time to make up for a turnover. You don't have enough time for a poor shot and then not get the rebound. You don't have time. I mean, there's not enough possessions left in the game for Arkansas to fumble it around and have an empty possession, turn the ball over, or drive to the lane, not make the shot, get the free throw, and come away with nothing. Empty possessions. You can't have them that late in the game.
No.
Inside the last 4 minutes, you got to get something on each trip.
Nope. And until it starts changing and until it starts improving, Arkansas is going to have these same type of games the rest of the way. We got to take a commercial break, though, getting to the final segment of the Morning Rush. But before we do, Tommy's going to tell you about the Fence Man.
Yeah, if you've got an existing fence that needs replacement, right now is the time to call the Fence Man, because for a limited time, all residential customers get a free tear-out of their existing, worn-out, tired, gotta-go fence. So if you got a fence like I'm talking about here that's got to go, right now the Fence Man's going to tear that thing down and get rid of it for you for free when you put in a new fence with a Fence Man. Normally that's a $1,000 charge. You get it free right now when you call the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. It's all part of their winter fence sale going on right now. They want to stay busy during these winter months. They're offering you a special discount to do it right now. And then your backyard is ready to go for spring landscaping, everything you want to do. And then, you're going to have a beautiful look for the rest of the winter. 479-782-3936. Free fence tear-out when you call the Fence Man right now. 479-782-3936 for the Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Well, it's obviously a disappointed locker room in there. Our guys, they spilled their guts and heart on that floor, and was trying to find a way to win. And just still the little things that we got to do to finish off a game against a very talented LSU team. Give them credit. I think, the Nas Reed kid, I mean, that's probably, I'm sure it's his best game, as well as the Taylor kid. Those are some guys we hadn't played before, but they stepped up and made some big plays for him. And, of course, Tremont's going to do his and Skyler. But I thought the second half was totally different than it was the first half, and I thought it was much to our advantage. Let's give them credit. They made plays when they had to, made free throws when they had to. But it wasn't because of a lack of effort. I was disappointed in the outcome of the game, but I was not discouraged because of the effort. I thought we got better against a much better team. That's probably one of our better half, that second half. Got it in overtime, and we've had some overtime games. We lost one to Texas, I think, and we won one or something like that. But we talk about the game's going to come down to the little things, and it came down to the little things again. And I think the little things are execution, offensively and defensively. But again, let's give LSU a lot of credit. They made some big plays.
Mike, it's the second time you had a double-digit deficit at home, came back and couldn't quite close it out. How disappointing is that?
Well, again, right there before the half, they hit a big shot right there before the half. I thought we did a good job of defending, and somehow Tremont got it and kicked it out, and the guy makes a shot. And then, of course, in the second half, I don't know where it went down, but we know that the game is 40 minutes, not 20 minutes or 23 minutes, 30, whatever it is. We knew there was time on the clock, 33 minutes or what have you, and I thought our defense dug in and we started making plays. We kind of got after them, created some turnovers, got stops. I think we got stops. I thought early on in the game it was like going back and forth, and they scored a little bit more than we did, and so. But we were able to have a much better second half, I thought. They got some key offensive rebounds on us, and of course, those are the little things I talked about. There were some opportunities for us to execute. I think it was tied up 77. I think we ended up having a turnover. We had a chance to get a lead and had the crowd into it. I thought that was some momentum time. But again, let's give them credit.
Was there a more concerted effort to get Gafford the ball, or was it just the flow of the game?
No, they had no answer for him. It's just like the last few games we've had. We started off and getting people in foul trouble. And so our guys, I thought they did a much better job of really finding him on time, and he did a good job of finishing, and I thought he positioned himself closer to the basket. But, yeah, we wanted to make sure that it was inside out today.
Reed a surprise with the three-pointers, or is that something?
Well, we knew he was capable of shooting it, but not 4 for 4. I mean, he was making some. And then like I said, our defense broke down. In the first half we saw that. And then, of course, he's involved in some screen and pop. He's a screen and pop guy. And the execution we talked about is we got to be able to switch and be with them on that. And so therefore, we didn't execute that part of it. We did it a couple of times, and then at the most crucial moment, we didn't do it, and he made us pay for it.
Mike, they hit 7 more threes than you did. I said it's a big margin. Just how big was a three-point shot today? The ones they made, the ones you guys didn't.
Well, I mean, you look at the difference in the game, a 6-point game, there's a difference. But we also, I thought we got to the line a little bit more than they did, and we didn't capitalize on that. That could offset that. We had 21 turnovers on 21 assists on 34 field goals. That's pretty good. We created some offense from our defense, and so there's a lot of different ways to win a game, and we were right there within striking distance. Just again, the learning curve. We talk about the little bumps. There's another little bump that took place here, but I think we learned from the last bump, and I thought we got better. I really, really did. I thought we competed against one of the better teams we played this year.
You've lost a couple here at home now, and now you've got to go out to play arguably the 2 best teams in the league on the road. Just talk about the mindset these guys have to take, to be able to go down and compete.
Well, it's a quick turnaround, Dudley, number one, and we just got to go play. That's all. Just go play, and we'll see what the outcome is. I think if we go with the intensity, the same mindset that we saw, especially in that second half, I think we'll be okay. I think we play with anybody. Obviously, going to Tennessee, they're a very talented basketball team, but let it hurt to midnight, and then we'll get preparation in terms of getting ready for a very good Tennessee team. Every game in this league, that's how it's going to be. Every night, and we're seeing it. It's a possession here, a possession there. I think somebody lost on a buzzer beater today, and so our league is really, really good from top to bottom. I mean, people may think it's top heavy, but it's not, and so. The schedule continues.
Segment of the Morning Rush. I'm going to clean up some headlines here. First off, did you see what South Carolina is trying to do in changing their, initials? Basically, they don't want to be they want to be USC, but you can't be USC because University of Southern California is USC.
Right.
So they want to be referred to as the U of SC.
Whatever.
The U of SC. The U of, I can't even say that right. I just thought that they should just go by USC East.
How about we just call you South Carolina? Move on.
You got to be fancy because they got to find some way to do it. Because it's like
Or how about we just call you Clemson's baby brother? How about that?
Yep, that's actually.
How about we just do that?
It's actually one of the comments that somebody made. Just call you, Dabo was right. Let's call you Clemson's little brother. That might as well be
Clemson's.
Something to that nature that you could bring in. That's the thing is because there's a lot of UAs or U of A's.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's fine. But I don't think Arkansas, for instance, because you got U of A with Alabama. I guess Auburn's Auburn University. So you have to. But anyways,
AU, they're AU.
They're AU.
Sometimes it does make it difficult reading a box score to know exactly.
Yeah, it does.
You got to pay a little more attention. Yeah,
it does. But I don't think Arkansas needs to go in and say, you know what, we're tired of being basically compared to Alabama, which we know doesn't happen. But to say, you know what, we want to be different, so we're going to go as the U of ARK. No, you can't do that. Sounds bad. So, anyways, hope South Carolina just needs to stick with USC East or something like that. Do it to that extent. So I think that would be a better situation for everybody involved. So, by the way, I wanted to tell this story real quick before we get out of here. I mentioned my truck getting stuck. I got it stuck in my girlfriend's parents' yard.
Oh, nice. That's a great way to leave a third impression.
Yeah. It
More
was,
ways than one.
Yeah. It was a little moist out there in the yard. And needless to say, the four-wheel drive didn't come in handy. Didn't help me out.
Please tell me, her father takes great pride in the lawn. Like,
he does not.
It's greatly I mean, that would be even better.
That would have been even
like,
worse.
He's had it freshly sodded, last spring, and it's just beautiful. Overseeded with winter rye.
Nope.
It's a gorgeous yard, and you just tore it up.
Nope. There's actually not much care taken into the yard, so that's why they weren't too upset. Thankfully. But it was pretty embarrassing, though. I felt really bad. But that's the only way I could get out of the yard and out of the situation I was in where I was parked.
So did you have to have a tow truck, or did you have did you use a winch on your truck, or
her
what?
brother got his truck, and we went and bought some chains at the local hardware store and hooked it up to the vehicle and got me out. So
you
luckily,
don't carry those in your toolbox already?
Nah, the toolbox is just there for mainly appearance purposes, that's for sure. More of the Morning Rush tomorrow morning. Have a great one.
If you're a landowner, hobby farmer, or full-time farmer, Bush Machine and Tractor knows how